In the headlines, after the shooting death of a local man at a Rocky Mount bar, the owner of the bar has thrown in the towel. If you're a Wilson resident still needing help after the hammering of Hurricane Irene, there is still time. And we bring you a story of heartbreak. See how police and animal advocates rescued 2 dogs that were beyond recognition. These stories and more coming up on NewsBreak starting now.
From WHIG-TV, this is NewsBreak 31. Now, here's Marie Torres.
Hello and thanks for tuning in to WHIG-TV Newsbreak, your voice in the community. I'm Marie Torres. In an ironic twist, perhaps many of you found out the sad news on your cell phone, tablet, or computer. The innovator of Apple, founder and former CEO Steve Jobs has died. Jobs, who battled pancreatic cancer, died yesterday evening at the age of 56. He is described as a visionary, techno giant, and a model of the American dream. Under his leadership, he reinvented the way computers were made with the Apple computer. He is most famously known in modern times as the creator and innovator of the iPhone, the iPad, and Pixar movies. Jobs leaves behind his wife, 4 children, and a massive global technology empire. We have new details. After the shooting death of a local man at a Rocky Mount bar, the owner of that bar has thrown in the towel. According to Wednesday's report from the Rocky Mount Telegram newspaper, Tommy Benson, the owner of Nightlife Bar and Grill on Country Club Road, surrendered his business's alcohol and city operating permits. A full-out investigation by Rocky Mount police and alcohol law enforcement agents helped spur the decision by Benson on Monday, but Friday's murder of 24-year-old Ryan Craig Bobbitt seems to be just the icing on the cake compared to the other violations the bar ensued. It's reported that Benson was warned by officers in late August about checking the age of patrons and if those patrons were bringing in banned items to the bar. We've learned that 17-year-old Royal Williams, who allegedly shot Bobbitt, was not only allowed in but entered with a gun on him. 2 security guards were supposed to be on duty that night but were not. 2 men have been arrested in the case so far. Currently, police are still looking for Williams. If you know his whereabouts, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers at 252-977-1111. Benson says though nightlife is closed for good, he may consider opening up another establishment in another area. Also in our crime report this week, 2 people are busted for drugs. According to Rocky Mount Police, Monday morning they arrested 68-year-old Woody Jean Bell and 27-year-old Antoine Lamont Bell after a search of their home on 620 Cascade Avenue turned up a variety of drugs. Police say they seized marijuana, cocaine, assorted prescription pills, and drug paraphernalia. While Antoine Bell faces charges of possession with the intent to sell and deliver, communicating threats, and assault on a police officer, Woody Bell was only charged with the housing of the activity. She was issued a $5,000 bond. His bond was set at $75,000. Both were taken to the Nash County Jail. In other news, if you're a Wilson resident still needing help after the hammering of Hurricane Irene, there is still time. According to FEMA Representative Dasha Castillo, the temporary Disaster Recovery Center in Wilson is being extended through Friday, October 7th. The center serves to help those who suffered property damage or other setbacks caused by the storm. You will need to register before you stop in. You can do that by calling 1-800-621-FEMA, going online to www.disasterassistance.gov, or by visiting m.fema.gov on your tablet or smartphone. The center is in the old Vester Toyota building on 900C US Highway 301 North. They will be open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Our local library has some exciting events coming up this month. Here's Linda Bunch with Braswell Memorial to tell us what's going on next week.
Rocky Mount Fire Department return with their famous puppet show. That will be on October the 11th at 4 p.m. in the Warner Meeting Room. They do a fantastic job. It's National Fire Prevention Week, and this year the theme is about keeping families safe. So very educational, informative information that might just save someone's life. So we'd love to have all the parents, caregivers, And children come to the wonderful puppet show that they provide. Again, that is October the 11th at 4:00 p.m. in the Warner Meeting Room. They do this annually, and they really do a professional job. It's really entertaining, and the children learn and they obtain a lot of education about fire safety through their program. It's an awesome job that the fire department does, and we're really thankful that they come and do this for us and share the information with the community. Either go online at www.braswell-library.org or either call the library at 442-1951 extension 244.
We'll hear more from Linda later on in the broadcast. When we return on Newsbreak, the city of Rocky Mount is celebrating a big victory in their fight to keep the cost of utilities down, and a story that will break your heart. See how local animal advocates are now stepping in. These stories and more right after these words. We're your news team, bringing it home to you with meteorologist Fred Holtzworth, anchor Marie Torres, sports reporter Edward Green, and Matt Havitt, our studio guy. WHIG TV Newsbreak, your voice in the community.
The Country Inn & Suites is your home away from home with a staff that always treats you as family. If you or your church or company has visitors, give them a great Rocky Mount welcome with a special discount on their overnight or extended stay. Not only is the Country Inn & Suites a comfortable place, we'll spoil them with fresh cookies and complimentary breakfast. We are filled with luxuries like an indoor pool, fitness center, and a guest laundry. The business center includes a boardroom, connection to high-speed internet, and catering for meetings is always available. Call me, Donna Vachavis, at 252-442-0500 for a tour and or to set up your corporate rate. You're always welcome as family in the Country Inn & Suites, Rocky Mount.
Welcome back to WHIG TV Newsbreak. I'm Marie Torres. The city of Rocky Mount is celebrating perhaps a big victory in their fight to keep the cost of utilities down. Last Friday, September 30th, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission issued an order to halt the proposed merger by utility powerhouses Duke Energy Corporation and Progress Energy Incorporated. The commission stated that the merger would increase already excessive levels of market concentration and drive up prices for their customers, especially in eastern North Carolina. Two cities have kept a close eye on the latest in the possible merger. They are the cities of New Bern and Rocky Mount. Rocky Mount City Councilman Andre Knight, who also serves as the vice chair on the Board of Commissioners for the North Carolina Eastern Municipal Power Agency, says he is pleased with the FERC's decision. And perhaps some good news for you natural gas customers. Effective the 1st of this month, the city of Rocky Mount approved a decrease in the commodity portion of the natural gas rate schedules. Now the rate will reflect the current price of natural gas on the wholesale market. However, fees have gone up. The city approved hiking the seasonal reconnect fee to $75 and added an after-hours reconnect of $100. City Council says they increased the fees because the previous cost did not adequately cover the time and resources incurred with reconnecting gas services. And this story is one of heartbreak. Those with sensitive stomachs, beware. Shelley Milburn, our area's local animal advocate and president of the SPCA Alliance of North Carolina, tells us about two abused dogs found at a local park and how her team is working to find them justice.
Last Sunday, we had received a call from the police department to help on a situation that they had. There were three gentlemen in the park, and they were out there playing disc golf, which is something the park is set up to do. And one of the balls went near these two brown masses on the ground, and once they got closer, they realized that they were moving, and they looked down and they realized that they were dogs, and they were completely matted. You couldn't even tell what kind of dogs they were, if they were boys or girls. You couldn't tell anything about them. And they did the right thing, and they called the police. Mitch Carter was the police officer that responded, and he saw those dogs and he was absolutely devastated. And he called animal control and asked them if there was anyone that they could call to come in and help the dogs instead of them being taken to the shelter, because he did not want them to go to the shelter. And that's when we were called. SPCA Alliance was called to see if there was anything we could do. And of course I contacted Sandy, because she and I work very closely together with our rescue, and we decided that, yeah, we needed to save them. And when we saw them in person, we could not even believe it. It was like things you see on Animal Planet, you know, or Animal Cops, something like really crazy that you would never imagine you would see yourself. And we rushed them to the emergency clinic in Wilson, and they immediately began shaving them, and it took about 2 hours apiece to get all of the matted hair off. And we finally discovered that they were boys under all that hair, and their names are Charlie and Marley.
All right. And so I hear you all are offering a reward.
Yes, we are hoping that we are raising money. We have our Facebook page is set up where we have our chip in up there. You can go to SPCA Alliance of North Carolina on Facebook, and we are posting regular updates about them. And we're hoping that with the money we raise, that we will have some left over where we can offer reward that will give us some information as to who allowed these dogs to get in this condition. We do feel like they were dumped in this location because they could barely walk, so there was no way that they strayed away all the way over to the park from someone's house. So we do think that someone intentionally dropped them off there, and you know, I don't know what they were hoping their fate would be by dropping them off that way, but they very could have easily they could have died out there because they were in such poor condition.
Okay, and if people want to know a little bit more about this case, or want to know how they can help or chip in, what can they do?
They can, what they can do is they can visit our Facebook page. We do have the regular updates on there. They can also always email me for an update. Our email address is spcaanc@gmail.com. And you know, just stay tuned, and we're going to be on a couple of different news stations, and there is going to be the gentleman that found them in the park. They're going to be having a disc tournament in their honor this Saturday from 10 to 1 at Sunset Park, and they're hoping that that will help raise a little bit of money too.
Milburn says she could tell Charlie and Marley were being fed prior to being dumped and had some sort of human upbringing. She says, however, the dogs didn't exhibit signs that they were being emotionally taken care of. Milburn says she hopes the local authorities will join in to help them find those who mistreated these animals. Up next, it's sports and weather, but first, here's Linda Bunch to give us a heads up on Braswell Memorial Library's annual Boo Bash.
So everybody can come out on October the 27th at 6 o'clock. Wear your famous costume that you have, or someone else's, borrow one, but come with your costume. And that will be again on October 27th at 6 o'clock. There will be a pumpkin judging contest. So if you've made your jack-o'-lantern or you've decorated your pumpkin, bring that for the judging. Prizes will be given. It's plenty of games and food. It's safe, and we want everybody to come out and join us for the annual Boo Bash on October 27th at 6 o'clock. You can call the library at 442-1951, extension 244, or go on our wonderful website at www.braswell-library.org.
The Country Inn & Suites is your home away from home with a staff that always treats you as family. If you or your church or company has visitors, give them a great Rocky Mount welcome with a special discount on their overnight or extended stay. Not only is the Country Inn & Suites a comfortable place, we'll spoil them with fresh cookies and complimentary breakfast. We are filled with luxuries like an indoor pool, fitness center, and a guest laundry. The Business Center includes a boardroom, connection to high-speed internet, and catering for meetings is always available. Call me, Donna Chavis, at 252-442-0500 for a tour and or to set up your corporate rate. You're always welcome as family in the Country Inn & Suites, Rocky Mount.
Thanks for staying with us. Here's a look at local weather with WHIG-TV meteorologist Fred Holdsworth. Fred?
If you've been enjoying the weather over the past few days, you're going to continue to enjoy it because we're going to see this weather right through the weekend is the way it's shaping up right now. This weather pattern is being produced by a Canadian high pressure system which is bringing cooler air all the way down from Canada, and this will be with us into Monday. Let's take a look outside and see what we have going on in the forecast map department. And there it is, the severe weather right here. This is in connection with this cold front. You have a cold front coming through the mountains, and this is producing some snow, and some of this snow can even be heavy. This is going to be some of their heaviest snow. Now, they have seen snow flurries out here already, but this is going to be one of the first winter type snows that they'll be seeing in portions of Colorado today. Now, as this cold front moves farther to the east, you'll see showers and thunderstorms developing out ahead of it through South Dakota and Nebraska and even into Kansas. So people out there will be looking for damaging winds, possibly even a tornado or two in that area. Nothing like that going on in the east today, though. We do have a cold front pushing down. This is what we call a backdoor cold front. It's dry, it's nothing, no precipitation with it. Being pushed down by high pressure up over Quebec province in Canada. Rain and some thunderstorms will be setting up over the peninsula of Florida, all the way up along the Georgia coast and into the southern coast of South Carolina. For our area today, just a continuation of what we've been seeing for the past several days. We also see this stationary front down over the Yucatan Channel going into Cuba. This is something we're going to keep an eye on for possible development into the weekend. Going back to the west now, rain and just generally foul weather along the Cascades of California all the way up into Oregon and Washington, with rain along the coast as they get into their wet weather pattern, which will be with them probably until early March at least of 2012, because this is their rainy season in that Mediterranean climate. Well, let's take a look now at our forecast. And the forecast shows us sunny skies throughout, few clouds scattered about. Our temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s. Our lows will be in the mid 40s to upper 50s. And that's a look at your Rocky Mountain and Tri-County weather. Now back to you.
Thank you, Fred. And with us now in sports is Edward Green. Tell us what's the latest, Edward.
Well, Marie, we've got a great week of sports. We've already had some fantastic baseball this week, but we actually have an event coming up Friday night over in Raleigh that I'm sure a lot of people around here are getting very excited for. Well, despite a strong showing all of last season, the Carolina Hurricanes missed the playoffs by just one game last season, most memorable of all being the loss the last game of the season to the Tampa Bay Lightning at home 6-2. Now, those same Lightning come to the RBC Center this Friday night to open up the season. There was not a whole lot of changes in the roster this offseason as head coach Paul Maurice returns to keep the Hurricanes from missing the playoffs for a third straight season. Now, all-star goalie Cam Ward will be back in net after setting a franchise record for saves last season. He will be backed up by veteran goalkeeper Brian Boucher, who comes off a solid season with Philadelphia. The defense behind the net is a little light as the Hurricanes will look for youngster Jamie McBain to make more of an impact alongside Tuomo Ruutu. The offense, though, is in good shape with Eric Stahl leading the way, but he has help alongside him as Calder Trophy winner Jeff Skinner should improve upon an already impressive rookie season. It will come down to execution this year for the Canes, and more consistent, less streaky play should get this team into the tournament for the Stanley Cup. And from a season beginning to one winding up, we have some Major League Baseball results. In the AL on Tuesday, Texas beat Tampa Bay for the second straight day Bay by a margin of 4-3 to take the series 3-1. Texas now waits in the league championship series for the winner of Detroit, New York. The Yankees ensured a fifth and deciding game by bashing the Tigers around 10-1 Tuesday, setting the stage for a repeat of what becomes the Game 1 pitching matchup, Doug Fister for the Tigers against Ivan Nova for the Yankees. In the NL on Tuesday, Philadelphia edged St. Louis with 3-2, while Arizona staved off elimination at home with a big 8-1 win. The Cardinals forced a Game 5 against the Phillies by winning 5-3 Wednesday at home. The Diamondbacks did the same against the Brewers last night by way of the long ball in a 10-6 win in the desert. So 2 Game 5s on Friday as the Cardinals and Philadelphia Phillies go at it. The first matchup is Chris Carpenter of the Cardinals against Ace Roy Halladay for Philadelphia, while the afternoon highlights a repeat Game 1 matchup as Ian Kennedy takes the mound for Arizona and Milwaukee against Giovanni Gallardo. And we wrap up with the high school football schedule for Friday. Fike heads to Nash Central to play for the Big East Conference lead, a rivalry game that may be important just to write the conference season as Northern Nash goes to Southern Nash. Tarboro travels to Kinston to play for the pole position in the Eastern Plains as the only two remaining undefeated teams square off. Southwest Edgecombe goes for 3 in a row at North Pitt. North Edgecombe looks to build on its 30-point win from Monday when it welcomes Kip Pride. And our Freedom Credit Union Game of the Week heads to Rocky Mount as the Griffons take on Hunt. So, Marie, a huge weekend of sports and some big college football games this Saturday, including the resumption of the Red River rivalry between Texas and Oklahoma, which is always fantastic. And we also have a little bit of breaking news to report. It has been reported that the Big 12 Conference, which Texas and Oklahoma are a part of, and has recently lost Colorado and Nebraska to other conferences, they have extended an invitation to Texas Christian University, which is currently in the Mountain West, and to join their conference. Now, the interesting thing about this move is Texas Christian is actually scheduled to join the Big East Conference next season.
Oh, wow.
So there's a little bit of conflict of interest right there, and it's going to be interesting to see, as all these conferences are consolidating, just what steps they take for self-preservation. So this is going to be a huge test case scenario. We know the ACC is likely to bring in Syracuse and Pittsburgh, maybe a few other teams. So the Big East were hoping that one of their flagship schools that they were hoping to bring in keeps coming in. The Big 12 just looking to save face right now.
All right. Well, interesting to see what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Edward.
Thanks, Marie.
Well, it's that time not only to close today's broadcast, but to also say goodbye. Today will be my final newscast on WHIG-TV as I will be pursuing another opportunity in the Norfolk, Hampton Roads area of Virginia. It has been my pleasure being your host over the last year and a half, and there are many people who I'd like to thank. I first thank my Lord Jesus Christ for giving me the knowledge and ability to perform this job. He has walked with me every step of this way. I thank my family, friends, and church members at Colors of the Ministry in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, who have always offered their awesome support for me during my stay here. To each staff member, partner, intern, and host on WHIG-TV, this includes Andrew, Lee, Gloria, Brittany, Trey, Evan, Justin, Lynn, Jr., Evangeline, and Clint. I thank you for your kindness and, of course, for your great news tips. To our owner, Herb Greenberg, and manager, Sandra Smith, you answered my prayers when you searched for me to start a live newscast on your station. Words cannot express my gratitude to you for all you have done for me. I thank you all for allowing me to grow and the freedom to deliver such important matters to the Tri-County area. To NewsBreak's news team, to Fred Holdsworth, our meteorologist, Matt Habit, our funny technical director, and Edward Green, my co-producer, sports reporter, and station technical operations manager. He's really my right arm. You're also special to me and have truly made my job very enjoyable. I will never forget how hard we work, no matter the obstacle, to bring our audience the news. To various nonprofit agencies, governments, and the average day citizen in this community, thank you. You've worked with me time and time again to report impacting stories. Just to name a few, the City of Rocky Mount and each of your departments. A special thanks to Mayor David Combs, Councilman Andre Knight, Councilwoman Chris Miller, Megan Hinkle, Richard Warsinger, Kim Weaver, former Chief John Manley, Interim Chief Jim Thomas, Captain Laura Fonstock, Detective Hale, Linda Jones, Yvette Jones, and Cornelia McGee Anthony, to Braswell Memorial Library, including Linda Bunch and Martha Lee, to Steve Rogers with our Employment Security Commission, to Community Advocate May Parker, to Nash County Agriculture Director Charlie Tyson, to U.S. Marshal Scott Parker, Nash County Sheriff Dick Jenkins, Captain Pat Joyner, Edgecombe County Sheriff James Knight, and to Wilson Police Sergeant Jay Slaughter. To our various political leaders, to our Pet of the Week ladies, Sandy Holt, Shelley Milburn, and Vicki Jones. To our various local newspaper reporters, thank you all for your help on my journey. And last but not least, to you, the viewer. It is you who has motivated me to dig harder for the stories that I cover. It is you who I pray for seconds before I go live. I thank you all for being my voice, for allowing me to be the voice for you. May God always bless you. Signing off for WHIG TV, I'm Marie Torres. Farewell. Need Incorporated is now recruiting for our Head Start program. Head Start is a special place for all children, including those with disabilities. Need Incorporated serves children who live in Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson counties. Need Incorporated serves